Hello, and welcome to the second part of the Testlio onboarding series. This section covers the fun of getting invited to your first project, as well as your first paid test cycle. When you do get invited to your first project, you'll receive an invitation similar to this one. As you can see, it has the project name here, and then we just want to go ahead and use this link. This will take us to the project page itself. Also, once you get invited to your first project, you may see yourself getting invited to a test cycle soon after as well. The invitations will depend on your experience, as well as the devices you have at your disposal and the needs of the particular cycle. However, if you do get invited, you'll see an invitation similar to this, in which we have the project name, how many hours you will be testing for, the device that you need to use for testing. This is based on the devices you said you have available in your profile, and in this case there's a browser as well. We also have the start and end times of the cycle, and then most importantly a yes and a no button. Before clicking one of these buttons, please understand that if you do click yes, this is a finalization. It means that you will absolutely be able to take place in this test cycle, complete your 2 hours of testing before the end time. If you do click yes and you are not able to take place in the cycle, this may negatively impact your tester score and may also inhibit you from getting invited to future cycles. So if you cannot take place in the cycle, or you haven't yet checked your schedule, either hold off on clicking the button or go ahead and click no, that you cannot take place in the cycle. There's no shame in this. We understand that people are busy. You have your own schedule, other plans, whatever it may be, that's fine. If you do click no, please make sure to do so as soon as possible. That will allow our test leads or project managers to find another tester that will take your place instead. In this case, we are sure that we're going to take place in the cycle, so we're going to go ahead and click yes. We can continue to the project. So this is the project screen here. On the left-hand side, we can see the test cycle information. In the middle, we have issues that have already been filed for this project. And over on the right, we have the chat section. The chat is used to ask questions of your test leads, project managers, or other testers regarding this project. So if you have questions, clarification, want to share tips and tricks, whatever it is, feel free to do so in the chat. Up here in the top, we also have project details that will show you information specific to this project. And most importantly, you will want to go ahead and look at the mind map. The mind map, a little small, there we go. So the mind map is created to show a complete overview of all functionality within the app at a high level. This one is relatively complex and it will vary depending on app to app. But you'll want to go ahead and check this out and get an understanding for how the app is organized, as it will also, become helpful later when you do need to file an issue and you need to choose what part of the app is affected within that issue. Also, if we go back here in the project page, we will see these issues that have already been filed. We'll take a look at this one as it provides a good example of what an issue should look like. So up here in the title, we have the affected area here in the brackets, as well as a relatively clear title. We have the environment that was affected in the testing. This environment will be defined from project to project, but this is a relatively good example of what will be required. There may be specific things, but this is pretty typical. We also have the steps to reproduce here. We want to make sure these are as clear as possible, as well as an expected result section. So what the expectation was of the tester that should have happened, as well as the actual result. So what did actually happen when you're performing the testing. In this case, we can also see a note here, but that's purely optional. And then down here, we have the attachments. We have a log file, as well as an MP4 video file. And we even have a screenshot for this one as well. The log and the MP4 video will be required for pretty much every issue in every project that you'll work in, as they're very helpful to the client when going through and trying to troubleshoot these issues and get them fixed. For this particular issue, we can also see some reproduction attempts that were filed for it down here at the bottom. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to the project page. And we are ready to go testing. We can see that this cycle is actually ongoing, so we will see this green Go Testing button. If the cycle is not yet ongoing, this button will not be visible until the cycle start time. On this page, we can see the test cycle details. This is specific to this test cycle, in which we have the focus here at the top. And then in this case, we have build information and important details. We also see the project details here in the middle. So this is information about the client in this case, as well as testing details specific to this project. And in this case, we also have some known limitations and functionality notes here. You'll definitely want to go over all of this and make yourself very familiar with all of this information. Down here at the bottom, we can see project-specific issue requirements, as well as general issue requirements that are pretty typical in Testlio, and also how to define the severity of a bug. This can vary project to project, so please make sure to understand these requirements. We're going to go ahead and click this green button to continue on. On the next page, we can see the test cycle details again, and also we can see the task list that was assigned to us, how many hours we need to test, as well as our device, and in this case we have a browser to test with as well. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and come back for the third part to see what it's actually like to take place in a test cycle.